everybody. It's Eric.
Hi, Robin.
And this is Stewart Perspective. As we promised, we're doing a little special here on the State of the Union address. Now, we watched it in real time, and then when we made our notes, we went back through and we rewatched it, pausing and making notes and stuff like that. So we're going to hit just the things that we noted on. We're not going to go over the whole thing. Before I jump into that, of course, as always, we got to do the business. That sounds weird. We got to take care of business, okay? So if you want to join our community and support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Stewart Perspective. And for $5 a month, you get access to all the podcast, early access to the podcast, and you get access to bonus videos and other podcasts and specials that we will be releasing only on Patreon. Right now, we've got the first episode of Tripping Down a Rabbit Hole with Blaze, talking about Blaze Foley and his life and experience with that. We have the Kim Ritchie concert that's on there. We have the Q&A with Kevin Smith, and we got a few other small things on there. So you've got some stuff to go on there and watch and throw $5 our way to help support us, and you get all the early access and all the good stuff. If you just want to donate, possibly buy us a beer, you can donate and throw a note in there. Here, go have a beer on me or have a beer on the show, and we'll do a shout out for you. You can go to paypal.me/raw communications and just direct donate to the show itself. You can go to Reaper Apparel Co. and purchase something there and use the promo code Uncle Mongrel. That'll give you 10% off and it gives a little kickback to the show. That helps support us as well, and that is reaperapparelco.com, promo code Uncle Mongrel. What else? Oh, you can join our Facebook community, which is, we're growing. We're actually getting a bunch of people joining up over there at Stewart Perspective Facebook groups, launching some short videos here and there on the Facebook groups and over on YouTube at Raw Communications YouTube channel. And those things are I'm popping them on there, and like in 5 minutes, I just did one today. I put it on there of Marilyn Monroe, and in 5 minutes we had 760 views on the freaking video. I'm like, what the hell?
Marilyn.
5 minutes, man. So I picked up 3 or 4 new subscribers or followers for that. So that's interesting. So check that stuff out. What else is there? Podbean. You can join us there. If you just want to listen to the podcast, you don't want to deal with any of the other crap, you don't care about videos or anything, just want to hear the podcast, go to Podbean and look for Stewart Perspective. We are there. Okay. Wow. Aunt Robin is yawning.
I'm sorry. I'm tired.
She's tired today.
I don't know why. Just all of a sudden, it's just like, ugh, tired.
It's gotten chillier today. Yeah. And then yesterday we had the power drop out on us.
Yeah.
For about 6 hours. Some fool knocked out a telephone pole and blew a transformer or two down the road. Took them about 6.5 hours to get the pole replaced and the transformer up. So.
That was fun. That was fun. I had to call my parents and say, karma. She's a bitch. Now we don't have electricity.
No, we don't have electricity.
Because they didn't have electricity for like 5 days.
Yep.
From the storm, the ice storm, again. And I was giving them a hard time.
Yeah.
Well, not having electricity.
Anyway, it's made for, the last couple of days have been interesting. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but our neighbors have shown up for the weekend. And they brought their dogs, a corgi and something else, and they're barking like crazy out there.
Constantly. They're not even outside.
They're not, that's in their RV?
In their RV.
Damn, Paco, I thought you was loud, dude. I thought you were loud.
Unless they came home and brought them outside for some reason. But
yeah. Okay. Let's just dive in. I want to, before we get into the meat of our points, I do want to point out a couple of things here. Let's just look at the past. Trump, on his State of the Union, has averaged 46 million viewers every time. Last year, Biden had 38 million viewers for the State of the Union. This year, 27 million viewers. The lowest it's been in years. And I think you kind of said it today. Maybe people just knew what the hell they were going to hear and chose not to waste their time on it.
Yeah, it was like, there's nothing new, nothing great, nothing's going to change. Why waste my time?
Yeah.
You know, it's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. So they just decided to do something else or watch something else.
Yeah, and the point that several times throughout this speech there was jabs at the previous administration, things going through the roof, and some of the problems that happened. Well, do you know what happened? A freaking pandemic. Okay, the world was reeling from a pandemic,
Right.
and that no president had to face before. So, let's just get into the meat of our notes on what all President Biden said. And the first thing I have on the list here is he was speaking about the number of new jobs under his administration.
New spanking, brand new
Brand
spanking, new jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
He says 12 million new jobs under his administration. We might as well just call the rest of the show, quote, I call bullshit. You know? Or I have questions.
Or I have questions. Yeah, that was mine. I have questions.
Yeah,
so 10 million, 10 million seemed to be the big number.
Well,
because everything's 10 million.
That's true. They use that 10 million number a lot on everything.
Yeah. So he said 10 million. Well, 10 million jobs went away. We lost 10 million jobs during COVID.
He didn't say this, though.
No, he didn't say that. He said he added 12 million.
He said he added 12 million. And looking at our research, what we all know, and what you're getting to is that we lost 10 million jobs in the pandemic, and even the White House administration representative was on one of the talk shows the following day, and he clearly said, quote, we have 12.2 million jobs, including 10 million that are coming back from the pandemic. Okay. That quote right there sums it all up. You don't have 12.2 million new jobs under your administration.
Yeah. And if you do, I want to know, what are these jobs?
Yeah.
What jobs? I mean, the very first day you took office, you took away a hell of a lot of jobs with a sweep of a pen. So I want to know which ones you made.
Yeah. So realistically, we'll give you credit for 2.2 million jobs. Mm-hmm. Okay, new jobs in the marketplace. You can't claim the 10 million that we lost and they are now returning or replacing the ones that were lost. That's bullshit.
Right.
That's just coming back to an even playing field.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing I call bullshit on is you only got 2.2, not 12 million. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. President. Anything else on that one for you?
Oh, he said, well, no, not on that.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So we kind of took separate notes. We're trying to coordinate as we go through these things here. The next thing I have on the list, he said, he took a jab at January 6th.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing I was fixing to say. He said 2 years ago, we had the greatest threat to democracy since the Civil War. He didn't necessarily say, January the 6th, but we all know exactly, because that's what they've said about it 100,000 times.
Yeah, that's the exact same
quote. The greatest threat. Okay, so you're telling me that a bunch of these idiot people that walked around taking pictures in the Capitol, okay, there was a few of them that were dumb asses and broke shit or tried to take something, but you want to tell me that was the greatest threat that we've had?
Not the burning of major cities, the loss of life in those riots, the just overwhelming despair and disgust that happened in that time period.
Yeah.
There was on film,
all the lives that were taken during that happening, when there were technically none. Nobody was. I'm not going to go there. Never mind.
Biggest one that gets me was in Seattle. That retired man that was just trying to protect his business was beaten and shot on camera.
Yeah.
He was a retired man with a grandfather.
He was a police officer.
Retired police officer.
Retired police officer, just retired.
And he had grandchildren and everything else, and that just got swept under the freaking carpet. Mm-hmm. And that blows me away. So mm-hmm. to continue to state that the January 6th issue was the greatest threat to democracy since the Civil War, bullshit. Biggest pile of bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's just irritating. Next one I have on the list here And I do want to state, while we go through this, overall, just based on the words that the president spoke and the way he spoke and everything, including the garbled and the stumbling and bumbling and stuff like that, I'm gonna give him a C. Okay, on the overall thing here. I don't hate the man. I don't like the guy. I don't hate the man. I don't like the job he's doing for us. But we all do wish him to succeed because he's the president.
Right.
So I'm not going to lambaste this entire speech of his.
Right. I mean, if say 75%, we'll give you your C. If 75% of everything that he wished, said, wants to happen, whatever, if that happens, that'd be nice.
Great, but again, it's the words. The words.
Right.
But words are one thing. Actions are others. Let's see what happens with what you've said here. Okay. I'm going to go over the 25% that I call bullshit on, and you have questions on. Okay. So don't think we're totally lambashing everything here, folks. Okay. We don't have enough time to go through each and every word that the man said.
Right.
So we've watched this thing twice now, and picking our parts to talk about here. Okay. All right. So the next thing here, I have on the list is we lost our pride and sense of self-worth. You have some. Let me say my piece on this one.
Go ahead.
I didn't lose it. You and your woke administration have broken it down and broken the people down and made us not have faith and pride in you or our government. I have plenty of pride in my country, plenty of pride in myself and the life that we're trying to lead here. And I know our country is the greatest one in the world, and I know that together we can accomplish anything. But we've got to be together. We haven't been united in freaking 6 years at least. It's ridiculous. That's my thoughts on that comment. Did you have a thought on that comment?
Well, yeah, and I see if you're our age and older, you still have a lot of pride in this country because you've seen a lot more, you've been through a lot more, and you have pride in the way that we have been a nation in our lives, in our lifetime. Younger generations, I think definitely have lost any pride because all they see is that they're not getting the things that they want. They don't, being recognized, with all I think it's the younger people have definitely lost pride in our country.
That's a whole nother issue too.
Because you hear a lot of people, I would rather live somewhere else than live in America.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Go for it, Skippy.
Go. I love next time somebody says that to my face, I'm like, go. How about I buy you a ticket? I will buy you a ticket and you go. Okay, I will spend the money that I need to feed my family to send you over there.
Yeah. Where do you want to go?
Where do you want to go, Skippy? Let's make this happen for you.
Let's see how long.
And then let's see how long you
live there. Because pull any of your crap that gets pulled here.
Yeah.
They arrest you. You don't have the rights that you have in our country. Because the other countries don't have the Bill of Rights that we have.
They don't.
You don't have it. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
You go to their country. You live by their country's rules. You're no longer an American. You no longer have those rights. So, go ahead. But anyway, I do think that there is a big loss of pride in this country, and it has nothing to do with being an American. It has to do with the way things are going in the country.
Now, this one here, the next one, I'm sorry. I was trying to read my chicken scratch handwriting in the notes. Well, how dare you let me take the notes?
you were going to every sentence. You'd stop it and go, okay, hold on. And I'm like, baby, we can't talk about every sentence the man said. We'd be 3 days.
We can't.
You got to pick the ones that you really want to talk about here.
So I'm going to touch on just some of these, like the unemployment rate. He says it's 3.4%, and it's a 50-year low. I have to question that. I don't know if we are actually at 3.4% because everywhere we go, we see signs still in the door hiring wait staffs, hiring bartenders, hiring cashiers, hiring. And those signs have been there and they stay there. And we go places and we have to wait repeatedly for service because there's not enough employees.
Right, and there's a lot of people that would say, well, that you're just making the point that unemployment is low because there's so many jobs, there's not enough people to fill them. There's so many jobs available. We just don't have enough people to fill all those jobs. And that's why everybody needs help. But you can also flip that around and say, nobody wants to work. And that's why people need help, is because they can't get people to work.
That's the way I lean on it.
See, I would look at the unemployment rate, and also I would look at how many people are still getting unemployment that aren't working. That have just kind of stopped looking, or they say they're looking and they're not, whatever, just so they don't have to work.
That's an iffy one. That's always been an iffy one for me. Even when Trump would boast about his, I'd be like, man, I don't know. Hopefully you're right. If it is a 50-year low, good on you. I don't see it. I see a lot of opportunities out here, and a lot of people not taking advantage of it. Especially in this part of the area we're at now, the number of rundown places that people just don't care, and you enjoy living like this.
Right.
This is okay to you. It's no, the window's not open.
Well, the shade is.
Oh. Hold on. I gotta turn the shade down.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. You don't know who's looking
at you. Anyway.
Thank you. It's weird.
I'll cut that out in editing.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I got questions.
That's one I'm going to say we got questions on, and I didn't dive into that one because there was so much more I had to look into as well as we were going along. Okay, so next one. Let me see if I can read my notes here. Inflation, blaming Putin for energy blockage. Gas prices coming down $1.50 from their peak. Here's I call bullshit on this, okay? One, it wasn't Putin that caused this crap, okay? You put a halt to leases, to oil production, and everything like that, and you caused the prices to go up on your own. When you took office, we were freaking energy independent. We were the largest producer of crude oil in the world, and we were selling. We're the largest exporter of crude oil in the world, which dropped prices worldwide for everybody. As America does, so goes the world. And that's what happened. But you stopped all that crap. You stopped it. You, sir, did that. And the prices skyrocketed. At one point, when you came to office, we were in New Hampshire, we were discussing this. It was $1.89 per gallon for regular gas. It shot to over $5 a gallon for regular gas. And it is now down to $2.89. And you sit there and clap and pat yourself on the back saying gas prices are coming down from their peak.
Yeah. Yay, $2.89. Woo!
The peak that you put us to.
$3 a gallon. Depending on where you go. I mean, where we happen to be, it's right under $2 a gallon.
Yeah. And
$3 a gallon. Whoa. Right $3 a gallon.
And for some reason, the shit still jumps around. I mean, we got gas one time at $2.78. And then a week later, when it was time to get gas again, it had jumped to $3.09, and then it jumped overnight to $3.09, and it stayed there for 6 days. And we went ahead and filled up. I ran it till she was almost dry, and I had to fill up at $3.09, and it cost a crap load of money to fill the truck up at $3.09. 2 days later, it drops down to $2.79. I'm like, damn it!
Yeah, it's like what's the mean? What
happened? How does this crap work, man?
It's interesting. I was like, there wasn't any kind of a holiday or anything. People were going places, so they jack it up. I don't know what happened. But it drives me crazy. I mean, he says, because of Putin's price hike. Well, if we'd have been energy independent like we were under Trump, we wouldn't have to worry about Putin.
Yeah. Yeah, and neither would the rest of the world.
Yeah. It's like we put ourselves having to rely on other people, and that really gets me.
Yeah. Very much so. Oh, wow. Okay. Next one. Food inflation is coming down. We just did grocery shopping. Yeah. And
let's put it this way. We don't buy any meat per se, like beef, because it is so expensive. I mean, I was telling Eric last night, I said, we could go and get 2 nice steaks for us to make at home, just the steaks. It cost us $20, $22, $23. Okay,
per steak
for the steak, and we have to make it ourselves. Or we a couple weeks ago for our anniversary, we were at Longhorn Steakhouse, where you can get a steak. I mean, granted, one steak, but you can get a steak and a salad, a really good salad,
yeah.
and a loaded baked potato for $23. So
it's almost
I mean, by
cost
the time you bought
advantage.
all that stuff for your meal, you'd be way over the $50 that it would cost. So why not go and let somebody else
Just
cook it
go
for
get a
you and
steak.
set it in front of you and bring you your loaded
Yeah,
baked potato and
it's Super Bowl weekend, and we went and we got a ton of junk stuff for the Super Bowl
we
weekend.
didn't get a ton of junk stuff.
Oh, we got
What
sodas,
did we get?
but they're all zeros.
Okay, we did. We got 2-liter sodas, but they're all the 0 sugar ones because we want to test them. We want to see if they're any good.
Yeah, because we got 0 Big Red.
Yeah, 0
you got
Big
0
Red.
7 Up. You got 0. What else did you get? Sunkist.
Sunkist Orange.
Sunkist Orange.
Yeah.
We're gonna test them out. We know the 0 Dr Pepper, 0 Coke, and 0 Pepsi are good.
They're pretty good.
They're
pretty good. So I'm like, well, let's try this out. It's not junk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
fine, but it's sodas.
Right, but it's
It's not junk. Okay,
anyway.
you're right. And then we got bags of pork rinds. That's on me.
We got pork rinds that has 0 carbs.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we got.
We did get our tortilla chips, and we got the Velveeta cheese and the turkey.
I got some ground turkey. I put ground turkey in my queso with the rotel and everything. So
we pretty much switched to ground turkey because everything else is just costing that much.
It
and
costs
even
too
ground
much.
turkey is going up.
I bought recently a pound of beef.
Yeah.
Pretty, not the bottom of the barrel stuff and not the great stuff, but the middle. It was like almost $6 for a pound.
Yeah.
Okay. And I made a meatloaf with it and some Italian sausage.
Yeah.
I mixed them together, and
you didn't like the taste of it.
Did not like the taste of it. I think I've just gotten so used to the turkey that I just couldn't. I ate like one piece of the meatloaf and I couldn't do anymore.
I know. I've been eating leftovers on the meatloaf all week. So anyway, food wise, I don't see it coming down. I don't see food coming down.
Yeah, because a bag of Tostitos, the party size, one bag is like almost $6.
Holy shit!
Isn't it? It's like $6 or
something.
Well,
with what we got, it's enough stuff to keep us through to Sunday night. Okay, Monday we're going to go do grocery shopping again. It is Friday afternoon or Friday evening at this point, and it costs us $94.
Yeah, and I had $15 worth of coupons.
So I mean, $110 worth of food for 2 days. The fuck?
And we didn't even buy like meal stuff.
No.
I mean, to make meals. It was just, to have fun for the Super Bowl. We're going to sit here and watch it. We like our queso and our chips to have, and that'll probably be like an all day thing because it makes so much.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be snacking on
all
that.
day and the next day.
Yeah, and we got a few other things that we needed, but overall, I was like, whoa, $93.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't see your food inflation coming down. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Eggs
if you're
are
feeding a family of 4, say you have 2 kids, yourself and your husband or whatever, you're spending a lot of money on groceries.
Who was it the other day jokingly talking about it? It's people are now actually going out and buying chickens, even though they live in the urban areas, because it's cheaper for them to buy chickens to raise their own eggs than go and buy eggs.
And I call BS on that, honestly. I do, because my mom has chickens and she gets eggs, and she has sold eggs in the past whenever they've given her enough to sell. But you got to buy your chicken and you got to feed the dang thing.
No, I know it's BS, but it's still funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It evokes the image.
They say, people are going and buying their own chickens. Well, yeah, they're not gonna save any money.
and when we lived in Austin in our duplex, we had the neighbor next door that had the chickens in a neighborhood that wasn't allowed to have
chickens
farm
animals. And a rooster, which was awesome.
That could
in a neighborhood in the
all
city
the damn time, and I'm like, that rooster's he's gonna wake up dead one time. I know it. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Look, we're gonna get in our side rants. This may be a little long one here, but the next thing he said after that went right off into inflation is coming down and wages are going up. That's the exact quote he said. Inflation is coming down and wages are going up. Again, I'm calling bullshit. Inflation is currently at 6.5%. Okay? wage growth has only been 4.4% wage growth. We are 2.1% failing. Inflation is still eating us up. Nobody's getting ahead. People are emptying out their savings to survive. Mm-hmm. I know, because we've had to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay? Why do you think I push all the business side of this thing all the time? Come on, buy us a beer, people. Come on, chip us in. $5. Come on. Anyway, that one, you can't defend that. No, math is math. The number is number. 6.5%, 4.4%. Inflation's winning.
Mm-hmm. Inflation's absolutely winning. If you do any shopping at all for your family, you know that. You see the prices on stuff.
And one thing you pointed out too when we were talking about this, if you're working at minimum wage, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. If you're working at it's a minimum wage, and God,
if you are,
I feel sorry for you.
I know that there has to be things out there that are still having their workers start at minimum wage. I'd like to know what they are. Because if you can get $14, $15 an hour at Mickey D's or Burger King or Whataburger or wherever, Chick-fil-A, why aren't you there?
Right. Well, we got groceries. We ran by Whataburger because I didn't get an HEB Coke at the counter. And I was like, damn it! So we went to Whataburger. And there was a line at the drive-thru. I was like, all right, let's just go in. Well, if we go in, let's just go ahead and eat. And
so we just go ahead and eat dinner.
We got a burger and we got our Cokes. And I'm sitting there, and there was this older lady, and older compared to me, okay? Older lady sitting there filling out her application to work at Whataburger.
Yeah.
I mean, and Whataburger's hiring at like $14 an hour. Yeah. So if you are making $7.58, is that the minimum wage?
7 something.
If you're working at that, why?
Yeah.
There's other things out there. Go out there and get something that's going to cost me, because at $7 an hour, you're going to end up working 2 jobs, killing yourself, trying to survive, and you're not surviving in this country.
No.
You are not surviving in this country.
Even at $15 an hour, they're still having to have roommates or another job or something.
That's true.
Because there's just no way that you can,
you
pay
in this
all
country
your bills with
right
that.
now. How can you do it? I mean, just looking at our gas and utilities and...
I mean, when you look at, houses, I look all the time to see what the prices are of some of these houses, and I look all over Texas, not in just one area. And, you're looking at, oh my gosh, 300 and something thousand, 400 something thousand for a house. Just a plain, everyday house. Nothing special, not huge, just a house for you to live in.
Yeah.
It's sad. You might be able to find a house out there for $200,000, but it needs work big time on it. So you're going to put at least another $100,000 into it to make it where everything works right, and not have lead paint or asbestos or whatever this old house has that they're selling for this price. So how?
You looked up one around here and you said, oh look, this is only $133,000. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And then you looked at the pictures. It's one of these old crappy roadside motels that they've come in and cleaned up the units, and they're saying that's a 1-1.
I mean, it still looked like a motel room. It still had the 2 double beds in it, and then it has like your little dressing area, and then your shower and your toilet area, and it's like that's a motel room.
It's a motel room.
$100,000 for a motel
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, we digress. Okay, so next thing I've got down is he states that 10 million people have applied to start new businesses. Again, I'm going to question that, and there's that 10 million again, and it's oddly enough the same number of jobs that were lost during the pandemic, 10 million, okay? So we're using the 10 million as your marker here. My question, and your question too, was, are these the same 10 million people who lost their jobs or their businesses during COVID?
Yeah. Because, if you lost your business, if you had a small business, you had to close down, chances are you lost it, right? You couldn't bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay. But now we've gotten a little farther out, and you've been able to regroup, and you're like, okay, I want to start my business again. I want to start whatever it is.
Yeah.
You have to go in, you have to apply for another license, I think. I don't know.
Well, you probably would have had to file bankruptcy for the business and stuff as well. So you would have to get a new license and a new business name.
Yeah.
You can,
So That was my question. Is like, was it just? I mean, who are these people? Is it brand new people doing brand new businesses, or is it all the old business people just wanting to do another business?
I don't know. I think
maybe half and half.
What throws me into that is the magic 10 million.
Yeah.
Why are we using that as our marker, people?
10 million. Not 3, not 12,
not 3,
not 4,
not 12, not 2. 10.
Because 10 sounds okay. If you go 20 million, wow, that's amazing. If you go 4 million, it's like, that's not that great. Yeah. 10 million is like, ooh.
But it just so coordinates to the 10 million positions that were lost to the pandemic. Okay. Whatever. Now this one here, we're gonna give you a little kudos on this one here. We're gonna agree. Lead pipes, 10 million homes. There's another 10 million.
10 million.
10 million homes in the U.S. still have lead pipes. Why is it 10 million?
It's the lead pipes that are taking the water to the homes. Right. And the kids are drinking it and getting brain damage and stuff. Okay. Did Biden live in one of these neighborhoods? When he was growing up? Did that happen?
Did most of our political representatives live in one of these?
They all lived there for a short time. Yeah. So, I mean, it's great. I'm for that. I am so for that. We need to rip up them suckers and redo all those pipes. Yeah. Why do we even have lead pipes in this country anymore?
That's the question I've got. Why is this still an issue? Why hasn't this been taken care of?
Why hasn't this been done years ago?
You can't sell a piece of property or even demo a piece of property that has lead or asbestos in it without it being going through abatement and being done properly.
They will not let you.
You can't do it.
You have to stop work.
But the pipes, nobody's checked the pipes. Nobody gives
the pipes
two
in
shits.
your city really suck, but that's okay.
Okay.
They're under the ground. We don't care.
All right.
So yes, I think this should have been done a long time ago because I remember when this came up with all the water, the pipes. There, that was years ago. That was years ago. Why are we still talking about this?
It needs to be taken care of. So go ahead, Mr. President. You got my full support on that one.
Yeah, I don't mind my tax dollars going for that kinds of things. Yeah.
It improves the infrastructure and helps out the people of this country out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nobody should live like that in this country.
No. And then we jump into another one where he talks about he's pushing for high-speed internet everywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I agree with this one. I'm not putting down this note. I agree with this one because it's one thing I've said. I've been in telecommunications 33 years. Okay, medically retired right this minute, but I installed this stuff for 33 years, and I keep an eye on the industry. And in the United States of America, we were so far behind the rest of the world. The rest of the world, average internet speed throughout the countries is 70 megabits. That's average worldwide. What were we sitting at last year? Average 5 megabits with a low of 1.2 megabits dial-up. Are you freaking kidding me? With our capabilities and the technology we have, yes, fiber needs to be everywhere. It's more cost effective for companies to actually install fiber and maintain it. You can do it a lot cheaper than copper. And you can bring greater services to your customers, which enhances your business. And I've never understood why companies have gone to this business model of the customer doesn't matter. The customer matters, So why give them an inferior product when you can give them such a superior one? So yes, high-speed internet, fiber everywhere. Let's do it. There's enough telecommunication guys out there that can take the work on and do it. I got friends in the industry that still can do it. Leon and Victor, my God, I love you guys. You guys can do it. And I wish y'all the luck. I wish I could be right there with you. I just can't do it anymore. Anyway, so there. What we got next?
I'll tell you what I have next. Find out what you have next.
All right.
What I had next was when.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
When he talked about Medicare and Medicaid.
Go ahead with yours. Let's hit yours.
Well, he said that there were Republicans that wanted to, what do they call it? Sunset Medicare.
Yeah. And what they were talking about was a couple representatives that actually said that a lot of the bills are going to sunset in 5 years. Should we let them and put something new in place? Not that they wanted to do away with it. So what he said, while grammatically was correct, what's the word I'm looking for?
He left out some information.
He left out a ton of shit.
Left out some vital information on
Some
that.
vital information. They weren't getting rid of it.
Yeah, and of course there were Republicans that they stood up.
And
it was like watching the House of Commons.
Yeah, it was.
The British House of Commons. They actually do yell at each other.
Yeah, they do. It was. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's like, oh yay, well, you're not going to let him sit there and tell lies and just sit there.
Yeah.
You know.
And with the raucous crowd, apparently there was a consensus made that it's not going away, which it wasn't going to go away, people. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's on. 27 million people watched it. It's on TV. You can go back and you can watch it anywhere you want to watch it. It's been said the president and everybody in the Senate and the Congress have said this is going to happen. So, there you go.
It's they can't take that away. Because, well, number one, there's just a lot of people who aren't of that age yet that have year after year after year after year after year put into it.
And you and I.
And then all of a sudden you're just going to take it away. It's like, wait a minute. A lot of my money went to that.
Yeah.
You know, I know that my money is paying those people right now. Mm-hmm. My money is paying those people. And the people coming after me, God forbid, are going to be paying for mine. Yeah. So get to work. Get to work.
Right.
Paying for me to live.
So what I had next was just a quick shout out. Hey, Fetterman, looking good in the suit, buddy.
Yeah.
Now, also, Robin did hear that after the speech, Fetterman did have to go to the hospital. He was feeling lightheaded.
Yeah, they said he was feeling really lightheaded. I haven't read anything since then. So they took him to the hospital, and they did some upfront tests that had nothing to do with a stroke or anything like that.
So he's probably just
and they were doing some more tests just to figure out, maybe all the information was too much for him. He got a little lightheaded. I don't know. But, hey, we hope you're okay.
We're okay. Seriously, we hope you're okay. And you look good in the suit. We knew you could pull it off. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Let's see here. Tax code isn't fair. That's exact quote from him. No shit.
It never has been.
No, it never has been. Trump, who was it? Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live said he understands why people got behind Trump, because for the first time, one of these millionaires came down from the big house and told everybody everything that you thought was going on and you thought they were doing, they're doing. It's true. And then he turned right around and went back into the house and kept doing it. Okay? So that was great.
Not that I'm going to stop doing it. I'm just letting you know.
That was great. And he said that. He said that when they were in the debates. They kept telling him, you did this, you did this loophole, and this loophole. It's like, well, yeah, I'm a businessman.
Yeah, I'm not a politician.
You put the law in there. I'm going to take advantage of it. Right. So get rid of the law.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fix the tax code. Okay? Fix it.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that.
I thought that was one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. When they said, oh, well, you did this and you did this. It's like, well,
yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
Well, it's business, for crying out loud.
And every other businessman you ask, well, they've done it too. If they're smart.
We pay our CPA very well to cover our backside, and we keep meticulous notes, and we hand him an entire dossier every year of our movements and everything. And he has protected us and taken care of us following the law. So
right. Because on an everyday basis, no matter who you are, you pay so many taxes. You get your paycheck, you pay taxes. You go and you get your money and you go to a store and buy stuff, you pay taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. You buy a house, you pay taxes.
Yeah.
You have land every year, you pay taxes. So it's like, oh, you own your land? Oh, sure you do. But you're still going to pay taxes every single year on your whatever, So we pay so many taxes. Gas. You go buy gas, you're going to pay a lot of tax on that gallon of gas.
Yeah.
And
that pays for our roads and the infrastructure.
Yeah. So you're paying on a daily basis, you pay so much tax.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, when the IRS figures out, well, how much more do you owe? Yeah. Doesn't everybody want to figure out the least amount that they can pay at the end of the year?
I have been trying for the last, when's the last time I got any kind of a refund? I'm going to say 2006 I got a refund. I've been trying since 2006 to get a refund. I haven't yet. Oh. Now, granted, we've done pretty good in the last 78 years. 7 to 8 years.
78 years? God, it's been a long time. God.
Seems like we just got married 9 years ago.
9 years ago, right?
So I mean, we've done very well the last 7 to 8 years. Okay, so yeah, we've paid our fair share in taxes.
You can't tell now. But,
you can't tell now.
You know, we had a good life.
We had a good run there. Yeah. Anyway, good God, that's the tax thing.
Yeah.
So but things are trickling down from that. Okay, and this is just a quick thing to point out that Disney. Okay, Disney. They got their hands slapped by the state of Florida, and now they have to pay $700 million in taxes that are owed. What did they do? They laid off 7,000 people.
Fired them. They said, "Get out. We can't afford you anymore."
I'm sorry. That really probably doesn't have anything to do with the tax code. I'm just saying, taxes are a bitch. And
well, if you have 7,000 people that you no longer have to pay, and you owe, you know, I mean, it'll help you out. Mm-hmm. You know, no matter how little you paid those people, it's still going to help you out. But I mean, I think you're going to see more of that coming from Disney, because I mean, they had a pretty dismal couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, they were shut down for a while. And they did a lot of movies sucked that they put out.
Because they pushed the woke agenda in a lot of the crap. You know.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I mean, are there children that go to Disney anymore, or is it all just adults who think they're still kids?
That are stuck in a childlike manner.
I think they are. They get to like 13 years old, and it's like Arrested Development. They just stop. And their bodies get bigger, but everything else stays a child.
And they have childish fights in line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They do. I mean, you can't be...
I can see that. I heard somebody say that the other night, and I could agree with that statement. I can see that for a lot of people. Now, there are people that are just big fans of Disney, and that's cool. And a lot of my friends are big fans of Disney, and I was a huge fan. And in some aspects, looking at the history of animation, I'm a huge fan of Walt Disney and what he did. The way the company has gone, especially the last couple of years, not such a fan, you know. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. You guys just stay over there. I'm not going to spend my money on you. Oh wait, we do Disney Plus, don't we? Yeah, we spend our money.
I wouldn't, but you have to watch The Mandalorian.
Damn right, and Andor and all the good shit.
All that stuff. Yeah, we don't actually watch the children's Disney stuff so much. But I mean, I've never been to Disney. I've never been to either. Disney I would really. I mean, I would like. I hate to say this. I would like to go just for the fact of seeing it myself and kind of being able to say, oh, you know, yeah, I did that. But in no way, shape, or form do I want to go with a child.
No.
I just want to be an adult that gets to do what I want. No. But you know, I'm not going to go in and pee on myself because, oh my God, look, it's a giant size Mickey Mouse. Oh, and you know, just you know,
rat.
Who cares? You know, some dude making $8 an hour walking around sweating himself to death.
Yeah.
You know, and on his break, he goes to the back and snorts some meth or whatever you do with meth. Whatever you do with it.
Wow, Disney just went dark.
Whatever. Because he's only making $7 an hour, and he's got to live with his mom, who's a cranky bitch.
Wow, you just painted...
He's like, how did I get here?
You just painted the most dark, dismal look at a Disney employee life, right?
That's how I am deep inside.
That's how... Yeah.
It's your wife. That's how I am.
I know. I married you. I know.
I often ask, why? You love me still? Really? Why?
I do. Yeah, I do. All right. Okay. So, a next statement he made that I was like, I don't know if it was a bullshit call or what. Let's see. It was kind of bullshit. Amidst of the global energy crisis, oil companies made $200 billion and then turned around and bought their own stock back. And he's going to put a stop to that. I'm like, that's called capitalism. They took capitalism.
Now you're sounding like Biden. It's called
capitalism. Okay, if you have to take the worst situation of having all your industry cut down, but still manage to make a profit off of it, and then can go back and buy the stock back into your own company so that more money coming in makes more money for the company. You're not having to give it out to shareholders.
Right.
That makes perfect freaking sense.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a genius when it comes to stocks and
not either.
Pieces. Okay,
not a
so
clue.
I'm wondering. Okay, you have an energy crisis, which for a long time we went through a couple years where there were a lot of people who weren't going to work. They were staying at home.
Yeah.
You weren't going to school. There weren't any buses. There wasn't this. There wasn't that. Nobody's going to. Everybody's shut down. Nothing. Right?
Yeah.
How did they make money?
I don't know.
Or are we talking? Who made all this money? Was it an oil company or energy? Like electricity. Yeah, electricity probably went up because people were freaking home all day.
That's a good point. He specifically said the oil companies.
The oil company. Okay.
He specifically said the oil companies, but you're right. The energy companies, just because we've seen what happened with the energy, the power grid here in Texas and stuff back in the ice storm 2 years ago and everything like that. So that happens a lot across the country. So that's an issue.
So there's lots of different energy out there. Okay, so we're talking about oil.
That's what he said was a $200 million in oil energy.
Right. So how did they? When people weren't buying as much of it.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. But I'm disagreeing with why are you stopping and why are you griping them for taking their own money and putting it back into buying their own personal stock back into the company.
Yeah.
So the company continues to make money and it can continue to run.
Yeah.
And he's saying he's going to put a stop to that. I'm like, why would you put a stop to that? That's capitalism. That's what this country is founded on. But yes, I do question how in the heck they made a profit of so large. Other than the fact the gas was $5 a freaking gallon.
Yeah, and I guess there were still.
Or that was just regular gas. It's not only talking about diesel. They got $9 a gallon.
Yeah, but even then, we weren't getting our stuff from other places.
Yeah.
So the trucks didn't have enough stuff.
Well, no.
Did they? Or did they still have enough stuff to keep the trucks going?
That was also another falsehood that was going on because I got that from Alan. They talked about that there's not enough truck drivers out there. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Alan said that there were too many truck drivers.
Yeah.
Because
he always says that he's on this list of how many guys before him to get a load to go wherever they go.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had an excess of truck drivers and stuff. Yeah. And so it was a little screwy on that one.
And if you drive 35 anytime during the day, there's a lot of trucks out there.
And as many times as much as we've driven across this country from Texas to Miami to Maine, New Hampshire, back to Texas, and all around in a circle, like 2 or 3 times, the amount of trucks that are on these highways.
We drive from, say, Austin, Pflugerville, whatever, Austin, 35 up to Dallas, or right before Dallas, and we get off of 35. And there are so many 18-wheelers out there.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere. You cannot.
And
you're surrounded by them.
$8-9 a gallon in gas. Those things are 300 plus gallons. They fill up at a time.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
$2,700 on a fill up.
Yeah, and so you figure if they made that much money in the 2 years of this COVID stuff and whatever, how much do they make when everything's just like normal? When everybody was hopping and going and
a crap ton. That's why you invest in oil companies.
Why haven't we?
We haven't had any money to do it. We've done good for 7
more than $3 a share.
It's more
than $3 a share. That's why
we've done good for the last 7 to 8 years. We haven't done great.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up. Thank you very much.
He did kind of have to get trapped and have to ad lib and say that we're going to need oil for at least another 10 years.
And everybody erupted. The Republicans erupted in laughter because it's like 10 years? You're like 30 years. Yeah. I mean, he's got his Corvette. How is he going to drive that thing? Well, in 10 years he'll be dead. But how is Hunter going to drive the Corvette without gas and oil?
Oh, man.
How's he going to go pick up his date for the evening on the corner if he doesn't have gas and oil for the Corvette?
And then, okay, you're right. Okay, we expounded on the oil. It's a solid question. He got trapped again having to say that we're going to need to keep oil going, okay? So, release the leases and stuff, guys, okay? Come on. Release the leases. Anyway, all right. So then he went on to he's talking about the previous administration. What was this? Was this the increase the
We were well prepared
we were
for
well
this
prepared.
podcast.
Increase the national debt. Let's see. He says he reduced it by $1.7 trillion. How did you reduce it
when you just passed a $1.7 billion
the,
was it the faux
climate or
I
no
don't even know what
the
Inflation Reduction
Inflation
Act.
Reduction, that's it.
Yeah. Wasn't that 1.7 trillion?
$1.7
okay,
trillion.
So he reduced it by and then
added
it. But he said that the 1.7 trillion wasn't going to add anything to the deficit because he took away 1.7 trillion.
That makes sense.
So you didn't really take away anything.
That's math. And that's math. That's how that works right there.
It's like, yep. I'm gonna take away 1.7 so I can add 1.7 and say I took away 1.7.
Oh man, I didn't get in the same context and everything. He berated the previous administration, Trump, obviously, for increasing the debt, the highest that any other president had. And here's the thing: go back and you look at the numbers, okay? Look at the numbers. He had to, during the COVID situation, $4 trillion was spent specifically in response to COVID and the pandemic.
Yeah. COVID.
So if you take that $4 trillion out of the equation, Trump only raised in his 4 years the debt by $3 trillion. In juxtaposition, let's look at Biden.
Ooh,
that's a big word, right?
Wow.
Right?
That's turning me on. Juxtaposition.
I'm going to pause right now.
We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Just
hey now. She's not lying. Like... she's not lying. Aww, okay. Anyway. Biden, in his first 2 years, has raised the debt an average of $2.1 trillion a year. So he's sitting right now, 2 years in, at $4.2 trillion he's raised the debt. So he's already beating Trump. And he's still got 2 more years to go. He might at this rate he will be at 8.4 trillion by the time he's done, which then will
I'm
put
guessing
him
probably more.
Yeah.
If he gets his way on things that he wants, if the Republicans go, okay, you can have it, then it's going to go way up, and you're going to be paying a lot more in your taxes. Yeah,
I'm just saying you can't keep berating the previous administration without actually breaking down and looking at the numbers and realizing there was a solid year that Trump had to deal with a situation to keep this country afloat that no president has had to face.
Right. I mean, this was something that nobody knew right away. Like, oh my gosh, what is this? How it's killing people. What are we going to do? So I mean, he kind of had to like split-second decisions on how to deal with this. With people that he was talking to, telling oh no, we got to shut everything down and get people to stay home because we don't want this going because we've got all these people in these hospitals and we can't take anymore. I mean, can you imagine if that would have been Biden? Yeah. I was like, oh my God, thank God it wasn't. But he, I cannot give him a hard time for anything he did. I mean, he had to send all these checks out to almost every single person in the United States of America. How many times?
Yeah, 3 times.
Three or four? Three, whatever. So every single person got these checks.
And I just, I often wonder where we would be right now if we did not have the COVID situation. If that did not happen, you could not be throwing Trump under the bus. He would have come in on average. If you look at the average he was going for, he would have been sitting at about maybe $3 trillion for 4 years. That would have been the lowest of any president raising the debt. And you're punishing the man or trying to punish the man for trying to save this country during a huge pandemic that nobody knew how to handle.
Right, and why are these people doing it? Because at some point, at some time, he said something that hurt their feelings. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, he said this, and that's not right. So, I have to, go out and protest against him, even though the country's doing great. The country was doing great. I felt, I've said this before, I felt completely safe.
Yeah.
I didn't worry that I was going to walk, down the street, go shopping or whatever, and someone was going to, come
hit me from behind
with a baseball bat.
Now, when we go out, even around here, little Rockport, little bitty city, I situational awareness. Every time we go anywhere, I'm constantly watching.
Yeah.
I'm constantly looking around, and I don't like people behind me. Yeah. It makes me nervous. I've always been like that anyway, but I'm more so now, because of the state of our country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Trump would say every time he had a chance how proud he was to be an American, how proud he was of this country, how proud he was of our military. The way he was with our military and police and firemen, everybody. I mean, he swelled with pride. I mean, he did. Yeah. And so he made you feel like, oh, this is a great country. Yeah. It's a great country because, we back all this, And now I just kind of feel like, this president could care less.
Yeah. I get that feeling as well.
Those people,
I get that feeling as well.
Yeah.
He did. Here's another thing I kind of agree on.
Oh, I'm sorry, he couldn't care less. To say he could care less means
he could care less.
He could care less, but when you can't care less, you're pretty much at your pinnacle of not caring.
I get it.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
All right, so let's get to sit down and discuss our mutual physical plans together. Holy shit! He actually reached out to try and unite everybody. That's the first time I actually heard him reach out and let's all sit down and discuss things together.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's only taken 2 years to actually hear that.
And that could be done if it didn't have people like AOC and
the squad.
Omar and those kinds of people that just want to cry and whine about everything. Yeah, you could absolutely sit down and talk about stuff, but there are some people that just are not going to let that happen.
Yeah. All right, we're getting close. I got I've got 6 more things on my list here.
I'm down to number 4. Did you totally go over him talking about the border?
No, that's down. No. That's the big one at the end.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah, that's the big one at the end. Yeah, that was towards the end, babe. Because the next one is the non-compete.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I just happened to put the border stuff way up at the top.
Yeah. The next one is the asshat comment about the non-compete clause. I'm sorry. This is not even I call bullshit. That was an asshat statement, sir.
Yeah. He got in there where there was a full 3 or 4 minutes of why. Why are you talking about this? This is stuff that your normal average American does not give a shit about a resort fee. Because most of them will never get to do that anyway. They won't get to take this great vacation and go.
Yeah, well, the non-compete one was one about the hamburger cashier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I didn't even. That one to me, the resort fees and all that stuff is something that's been hashed out and been said a million times over. I didn't even want to talk about it. I didn't put notes on that one. Yeah. Because I think it's stupid. We can all look at our deal and see our fees and bitch about them, and as consumers, we can do something about it. And you know what you can do? Don't purchase that fucking product.
Right.
Don't purchase that service.
Right.
Don't pay them companies.
He said something about airlines showing all the costs up front of your flight. I have taken lots of flights, and I've never not seen
everything up front
and know exactly how much I'm paying.
Never not seen it. I think when that came up, they said it was racial. It was because it discriminated against the black people, and they didn't get to say. I'm like, wait a minute. They're not smart enough to look at the bill and see everything up front? Is that what you're saying? You're saying they can't read the bill, the same bill that we get when we fly, and it shows everything. They can't read that? Yeah. That's un-American, sir. You shouldn't say that about people.
Yeah. It's kind of like getting IDs, because it goes against black people that you have to have an ID to vote, because a lot of black people can't get an ID. What?
What
black people do you know?
What are you talking about? I don't understand how that can be their argument. I'm like,
I don't understand, because there are people in my family that maybe for some reason or another cannot get to the DMV. Somebody takes them. Maybe they don't have a car. Maybe they don't. They need help.
Yeah.
That's why you have family. They take you and help you.
Pop couldn't have a driver's license, but he needed an ID to vote. The nursing home loaded up everybody in the vans and took them to the DMV to get their ID cards made.
I mean, you have people that help you. It's not like, I mean, they're assuming a lot of things when they say black people. This is harming black people because they can't get an ID.
What assumptions are you making?
Yeah, you're making a huge assumption that they're either too dumb to get to the DMV or they just, for some reason, can't get there.
To quote Michael Clark Duncan, rest his soul, what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and you. Leave me out of it.
Yeah, I don't think he said it like that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
With the New Jersey accent?
Oh, you're right. I mean, Michael Clark didn't do a Jersey accent. You're right. It's the comment.
It was more okay. I'm like, that doesn't sound like him.
Oh my God! The comment was, you know what happens when you assume, you make an ass of you and you leave me out of it.
Leave me out of it. Yeah. Okay.
And yes, that did come with it. I heard the Jersey accent there.
That's your go-to. The Goodfellas.
It is.
Yeah.
I blame my friend John.
John?
Yeah.
I blame your friend
Louis.
That's who I blame. Louis from Boston.
She from Boston. Love you, Louis. Love you, John. Miss you guys big time. Yeah. Where are we at? Oh, anyway, about that one. We got so sidetracked.
Yeah.
The non-compete. What he said was 30 million people have to sign non-compete clauses when they sign on for a job. And the example he gives is a cashier at a burger joint can't go down the street and work for another cashier doing the same job.
Another burger joint.
Ass hat. And he's like, no, look it up. It's there. Here's the thing, okay? I can see his confusion. So let me straighten it out for you. What he is seeing in California, people who work at burger joints, okay, in their paperwork, they sign a no poach clause, which means no managers or representatives from another burger companies. Let's call it out, Wendy's and McDonald's, okay? Somebody from Wendy's can't walk into the McDonald's and look at the guy behind the cash register and go, how much are you making? I'm going to pay you $2 more an hour if you come at me right now and come to work for me down the street. That's a poaching clause. You can't do that. Yeah. It's not a non-compete. That guy working that register can have a shitty day at McDonald's and say, you know what, this sucked. And he can walk down the street to Wendy's and say, how much are you paying your cashiers? And go, oh man, that's $2 more than I make. If I sign in right now, can you employ me? And I'll quit those guys right now. Yeah, that's fair. He can do that.
Yeah.
So he got that totally wrong. Because
I don't think there's any huge trade secrets
about cashiers at a burger joint.
From McDonald's going to Wendy's.
What's that secret sauce made of, sir?
Right. I'll bring over my thing of Thousand Island dressing. We can get to the bottom of this.
Shh! Don't give away the secret, woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's another thing that he went into after that. More paid family medical leave. I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
When my second daughter was born, Taryn, we only had FMLA. I had enough time for 1 week's vacation. I saved my vacation up when she was born, and I had told the managers and everything up to this point that I was going to take a week off my vacation, and then I was going to take a week of FMLA. Now, the way it works is when you notify your supervisor or your manager that you're requesting FMLA, they have to initiate the process to give you the paperwork. And even though I said it repeatedly, they never initiated anything. So I took my week off, and when I didn't show up the following second week, I got calls. Why aren't you here? And I said, I told you I'm taking FMLA. And they tried to blame things on me. And I put them in the sling. I said, well, let me talk to HR when I come back in a week. And, oh, no, we'll go ahead and get the paperwork filed. Just next time, make sure you do it all in advance. I'm like, well, that's on you. You should have given me the paperwork like you were supposed to. And we can talk to HR when I come back if you want to. No. And I said, okay, I was calling to let you know about my daughter. I don't need this crap from you guys. I'll see y'all when I come back. And I hung up on her. that was the beginning of the end for me and that manager. And it kind of went downhill, and that was the reason I left 3M. But at the same time, when I left, I took all my notes and everything about everything that they were trying to use me to do to backstab me and blame me for stuff. So I took it all to the third line manager above them and gave him all the notes. And the next thing I know, both that supervisor and that manager were forced to work for projects at home with nobody underneath them. So they didn't lose their job, they just lost their authority. And I was like, cool, thanks. I'm still not coming back because I hate this company. Anyway, crap, we went way off on that. I'm sorry, folks. My bad.
It's okay.
Where were we? That was paid family medical leave. Okay, that was a real touchy subject.
I think that, well, women, unless you work for, Fox News or some high up place like that, women in general just don't get enough time off once they've had a baby.
They don't.
They really don't.
They really don't.
And guys, I mean, why shouldn't a guy be allowed that same opportunity? No. It's his kid too. Everybody wants to bond with their kid. And if you're not there through, most of it, I mean, time goes by really fast and babies grow really fast and do first things, really fast. And I just think that, both men and women should be able to be with their newborn for longer than a week.
Yeah.
Until they have to go back to work.
That's true. It's a true thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a true statement.
Yeah.
So anyway, from there, he announced that he wants to give public school teachers a raise. Again, I fully agree with that, as long as you're teaching the basics. Don't give me the woke crap and everything like that.
Yeah.
Teach my kids science, teach them math, teach them English.
Yeah.
And how to be a good person and a good citizen.
Just teach them, what they need, to do well in the world.
Yeah.
Not a lot of this crap.
Teach them how to be critical thinkers instead of teaching them how to think. That makes sense? What to think? What to think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, teachers nowadays are putting way too much of their own beliefs into teaching the kids.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about your beliefs.
It's not.
You keep that out of it. I don't ever remember. I didn't know anything about any of my teachers. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know. The only way you knew they were married is because they called themselves Mrs. That's how I knew they were married. They didn't talk about nothing. Yeah. I mean, you just didn't. They didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
You're there for a reason. You can teach these kids these specific things. Here you go. And now it's just kind of gone.
It's gone to the wayside.
Crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, at least from our experience, from what we see looking in from the outside, we don't have any children in the system. There are grandchildren that we hear about, our grandchildren and some of the things that they've had to go through, and I'm like, wow, this is just really sad, really, really sad. And anyway, I agree. Teachers need more credit, and they need to be paid what they're really worth, but keep to the basics. Don't. How did I say it a minute ago? Teach my kids how to think. Don't teach them what to think. There you go. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Where are we at now? Holy crap. Says he's going to double down on criminals who stole relief money. Next, relief money that was to go to workers to keep them supported. Well,
unless they're kin to any lawmakers in Washington, et cetera, et cetera. Those people, we're not going to worry about them, but we're going to get this everyday people down here that are nobodies, really. I mean,
well, and my big thing is, during the pandemic and stuff, we were eligible for, and we applied 4 times for PPE, and we were flat out turned down 2 times, and then the last 2 times they ran out of money each time.
Yeah.
What the shit?
And we were only for what, 10 grand?
No, 18,000. All we needed.
But there were people that got $500,000.
I know,
10 million. They went and bought cars, houses, trips.
I know a millionaire in New Braunfels. Not a personal friend of me, but I know the man. I know he's got millions. He got PPE that was supposed to keep his company afloat and pay his people, and he just put it in his bank and let the company continue to make money and pay his people. He just pocketed the money. He didn't need PPE. He didn't need to get $2 million in PPE when there were people like you and I that were losing our ass and emptying our freaking savings just to survive. So that's the kind of thing that pisses me off. And what's the one they just talked about last night on Gutfeld? The lady that got $378,000 in PPE. She just created a business, got $378,000 in PPE, bought herself a Bentley, and took herself on trips and got plastic surgery to become an Instagram star.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Oh, and now she's been arrested, and they need to sell that whatever she bought, everything she bought, sell it, and give that. You know, I mean, all these people. You know, I mean, we've been hearing it for a couple of years now. People buying cars, houses, whatever. Well, you know, that needs to be sold, and the money put back in whatever.
Yeah.
The fund, put it back towards our debt. You know, the national debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Or
put it towards writing off all that student debt.
Yeah, give me some money. That's.
Yeah.
Give me some money.
Send me something.
Give me the $18,000 I was eligible for
before
and got
all these
screwed
people
out of.
Took all this money. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. That one was a little. Good. Go after the people that you can prove. But they're also saying they can't. They've found $189 billion of money that was illegally given out to people.
Yeah.
But that's only a tenth. Like a tenth of what they suspect has been fraud, and they don't know how they're going to find the rest of it.
Yeah.
How about you should have thought about that shit when you started handing money out hand over fist?
Yeah.
Maybe check into some of the shit.
Yeah.
You know, is this legit? Why does this guy want $500,000 to buy a Pokemon card?
Yeah. I mean, they can't find it. Okay, here's my question. You had to put in an application to get it, right?
Yeah.
And they okayed it, and you got it. So all you need to do is go back through those applications.
And go,
And, yeah. That's what they need the 87,000 agents for. They don't need 87,000 new IRS agents. They need agents to go through all that stuff and track it down.
Yeah, he's the 87,000 agents and stuff. He wanted to go over. He said there's over 1,000 billionaires in the United States. Incorrect. Currently, there are 743 billionaires in the United States. So, a little off on your numbers there. But I don't think it takes 87,000 armed agents to go after 743 people. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that's that rant. The last thing I got is the one that you wanted to talk about, the border and stuff like that. And that was the last big thing he said, and he really got a ration of shit from the people in the audience.
Yeah, because he brought up the border. He talked about fentanyl. Mm-hmm. He talked about the way he wants to battle it is more machines to find it at the border.
At the border.
Okay, so don't worry about how it's getting made and how it's getting there and all that. But you know, we're going to stop it once it gets to our border, or we're going to try to. Not that we're going to get all of it or even half of it. We'll maybe get some of it. It's still going to be killing our people, but it's okay. You know, it's kind of like letting that balloon go all the way across the United States of America before you shoot it down on the other side. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, we're going to let it do what it's going to do, and then we'll deal with it.
Right. And they said they cut off it didn't have a chance to communicate. It had antennas and equipment on there that could communicate to satellites in low Earth orbit.
Yeah, it communicated
Chinese satellites. I'm sorry. How did you block that again?
Yeah. And the greatest thing is that the Chinese government got mad at us for shooting it down. Is that gaslighting? Is that what gaslighting is, like telling us, "Oh no, it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. Why did you have to shoot it down? Why did you do that?"
Douchebags. Douchebags.
What are you talking
douchebags. He said fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 people per year, and that's when the crowd erupted in a raucous claim, screaming, "It's your fault!"
Yeah, it's because of the border. Yeah, first of all, I said that's the border. That's the problem with the border. Yeah, you know. And then who was it? Marjorie Taylor Greene was. What? Marjorie Taylor Greene, liar! You're a liar! I mean, she's got all.
She was really screaming out there. Yeah,
they showed some people in that audience, and they were ticked. There was one guy, and I can't remember who they said it was, but look on his face, it summed everything up. You know, I mean, he was just looking around like, what? What is he talking about? You know, did you hear the
shit he just said?
Yeah, what the hell? So yeah, it's just amazing that he talks like that. It makes us feel like we're idiots, but we've been telling them the whole time.
What you're doing is causing problems. He says he wanted to stop the fentanyl production by placing drug detection machines and sir, drug detection machines to stop the fentanyl production. There's 8,000 people a day crossing the southern border illegally, and it's math, people. Look it up. 8,000 people a day, and here's the production line. China produces the ingredients for fentanyl, and they sell the ingredients to the drug cartels in Mexico, who then assemble the ingredients to the fentanyl pills and make them look like Fruity Pebbles or Nerds or whatever. Fred Flintstone vitamins or whatever.
Whatever's going to get the kids.
Whatever's going to get the kids to the sprees and stuff like that. And then they have people carry that shit across the border. Because 8,000 people a day are coming through the border.
And you can't catch them all.
You can't catch them all.
How many gotaways? That's the gotaways.
The gotaways are ridiculous. It's just unbelievable. And then on top of that, they have now gotten to the point where, okay, you want to try and catch us going across? Here's what we're going to do. We got drones. And they have drones that are just taking bags, dropping them over the wall. They send the GPS coordinates to somebody on the other side of the wall. They come pick them up and go. Ta-da! It's a silent war China has placed on us. They are attacking us.
Well, China and the cartels. Because they know, they're like, okay, we're going to send all this rush, this bum rush of people. And so all these border agents are going to be over there trying to deal with this and getting those people into the country and figure it out. And they're not going to be able to deal with all that fentanyl they're bringing in over here. Because everything, look over here, look over here, look over here.
It's a smokescreen.
And they're doing everything over here, and they know we don't have enough people to deal with all that. And our border patrol, God bless them, is having to deal with this every day and every night. It's 24/7. It doesn't stop at the end of the day and everybody goes home and gets some rest and comes back the next day. It's constant.
Yeah.
And people are getting killed.
What was it today? I was listening to one of them, and they said they were doing a ride along with some border agents just this last weekend. And they were bum rushed by a massive crowd of immigrants illegally crossing the border. And they bum rushed the border patrol and then separated because there were too many of them, and they couldn't catch them all. I'm like, the border's wide open. They're just walking right through, and they're coming in mass crowds now because they know they can't get us all.
Yeah, there's no security. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, our guys are trying their hardest, but you don't know what's getting through. You have no idea what's getting through, and all of the women who are just being abused.
Women and children.
Yeah, children being sold, whatever is happening with them.
That's ridiculous.
And then
it's shameful.
You have all of the people that were taken up to New York City who are griping, and it's on tape. I've seen it. It hasn't been just somebody saying it. These guys are not wanting to leave these fancy schmancy New York City hotel rooms that they've put them up in,
right?
To go to the places that they now want them to go. All these, what are they?
It's a tent city. The tent cities are better than our soldiers.
Our soldiers have it much worse. But anyway, these guys are saying we don't want to go there because we went there and it's horrible. And one guy even said it's like being in the military. To stay there, it's not nice enough. It's cold or whatever. They don't serve good food. Whatever. I mean, they were saying this, and so these people, they don't want to leave these nice hotel rooms because what we're giving them for free, it doesn't live up to their standards.
All of our, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? All of our. Crap, my mind totally went blank. All we're saying is that we have to provide you some place to live and sleep and provide you some food. That doesn't mean a $600 a night hotel. Yeah, the sanctuary cities. I don't know. I heard that somewhere. I don't know what it is. What's the word? My mind is totally blank on what I'm trying to say. So
I don't know.
Disregard.
I just wonder, when they're getting ready, when they're in Mexico or Venezuela, I mean, wherever they're coming from, wherever. And they're deciding, okay, I'm going to make this trek, however they do it, however they get there. I'm going to go into the United States because of whatever reason. I want to make more money. I want to have a better life for my family, whatever the reason is. Do they think that when they cross that border, like we're going to have like a house for them and food for them
You
and
still got
a
to get out
job
there
for them?
and
I mean,
work.
what are they going to do once they get here?
I don't
know,
know.
they have to rely on our government to at least put them somewhere.
And for us to give them station, we have to give them a roof and food and stuff like that. That doesn't mean we're going to give you a $600 a night hotel room. We have a facility that you can move to, that we can take care of you, and you can be somewhat comfortable and safe.
Right.
If you're choosing not to go where we provide you, then I think you should automatically be freaking deported back to where you came from. If you don't want to take advantage of what we're offering you, then you need to go back to where you came from.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
They put you in the hotel while they got this other facility prepared and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the original immigrants to this country and how they had to live.
Oh my God,
that was nasty. They didn't have anything.
No,
they had nothing, and nothing was given to them.
No,
they had to come here and they had to right away find a job doing something so that they could get a roof over their heads somehow and get food. They had nothing, and you are able to come here and automatically get all these nice things given to you right away.
Yeah.
So that you can get to a point where you have, and you want to complain about what you're getting.
I think if you start complaining and you start denying anything that we're offering you to try and help, I think you should go back to where you came from.
Yeah, and while you're in that $600 a night hotel room, why weren't you out looking for a job somewhere? You should have taken advantage of that. Go out, find a job so you can start getting paid.
You have paperwork that you're here seeking asylum or whatever, and you can go out and find work.
Right. Right, but instead it looked like, because we saw some pictures of beer cans all over the rooms,
and you treat the staff like crap. You tear the places up.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, I am proud of this country enough to say you're not gonna come here no matter where you're from. I don't care. I don't care if you're from Mexico. I don't care if you're from Canada. I don't care if you're from Germany. I don't care. You're not gonna come here and make a mess of my country and make it look like garbage.
If you want to come here and be part of the country, be part of the country.
Yeah.
Don't be a problem.
Yeah.
Don't be a problem. You're line cutting, and again, I've said that a million times. I am not anti-immigrant. I am anti-line cutting. There is currently policy in place for immigration. Yes, it takes time, but if you if you go through the proper policy, you're given the documentations you need. We were just listening to a comedian talk about how he was 20 years before he got his green card, but he was legal and under the asylum clause, and he had to travel around the world for shows and stuff during a tour. He was given paperwork that it was a travel document. He was an asylum seeker who had a travel document from the U.S., and he was under our asylum laws, but he could travel. And he talked about how it's a pain in the butt every time he had to go to the airport because it's a legal document, but it's not an ID because it says it's not an ID, but it's a legal travel document. And he has to go through the same explanation.
But you would think that people in airports would be trained on that kind of stuff.
That's true.
You're sure it probably happens more than just with him.
Oh, I know. I agree. But my point being was that he went through the proper channels.
Yeah.
And he put up with the proper channels. And it took 20 years.
Yeah.
But he got he's a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
He did it the right way.
Right.
And if you do it the right way, I'm going to support you. I'm going to back you up. I'm going to be right there with you. But doing it the wrong way, you're circumventing the people that are doing it the right way.
And I know people from Central America and that did it correctly. It's a pain in the ass, and it takes a lot of time, and it's expensive, and it's stupid.
It is.
That needs to be changed. But my point is that they are mad.
Yeah.
They are angry at these people because they're like, hey, take them back. I came here. I did everything I was supposed to.
That's true.
They're not wanting to do that. Take them back.
That's true.
They're really upset about it.
I don't blame them.
I don't either.
Whew, holy cow, folks. That's the last of my notes.
Yeehaw.
And we went off on several tangents there, as
we always do.
As we do.
Oh, I have one that we didn't talk about.
Oh, shit. Okay, go for
it. He made this big deal, again, about these wealthy corporations paying their fair share of taxes. Got to pay your fair share. I agree. But if anybody understands economics,
Yeah.
You know that, okay, let's say
And not to say that we are economic teachers.
Well, but I know enough. I made a 100 on my economics final. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I did. That's
I
right. I was
had
the only one in my senior class of 1990.
I started to say earlier I gave Biden a C because I survived on C's and D's. So there you go. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Anyway, if you get all this tax money from, let's say Apple. Let's just an example. Let's say Apple, and you say, okay, Apple, you make billions of dollars, and we want your fair share. So we're going to ask you to pay 15% to taxes of that. Okay. Yeah. So Apple then says, well, okay.
I got to make that 15%.
I got to make that up. Yeah. And how are you going to do that? You have your product is going to have to cost more. Yeah. You got to make it up with your product. So I'm going to go and buy me a new phone, but I'm going to have to pay more for it than I did last year because this, they paid their fair share. So I understand. I do. I understand you want these companies to help pay the taxes. You need that. But you also have these tax incentives for these companies to come here or to come to your state or wherever. That's what you give them. It's like, hey, look, you don't have to pay this and this for 10 years if you'll come to our state. So, it's just going to end up costing your normal average guy more for that product.
Those of you out there who are in the iOS world and you have had to purchase an Apple phone, you know how much those things are.
Yeah.
I think my Android this time around was the first time that actually met or surpassed what was the price of your iPhone compared to my other Androids.
Yeah. I think we paid like $1,400 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 1,000.
Yeah, but because I went for the what did I get, 500 megabit? No, 500 gigs. I got the 500 gig hard drive on my phone.
Yeah, you got the really
high end,
really good one, which we had to buy directly from Samsung because nobody
carried it.
Yeah, nobody had it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was the first time.
And people don't really think about, oh, my phone was $1,000 because I pay $30 a month for it. They don't really. It doesn't go in their head. $30 a month for 5 years or what. I mean, it's hilarious because I bought mine and paying for it, and within like a year that I have that one, the next one comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not even halfway through with it, So that's how they get you. They're going to keep you.
I know they've already surpassed the model that I had, but I made sure I knew we were going to spend the money on it. I made sure the model that I got had all the features I wanted, including the hard drive, and it had the most advanced camera, so that even though it may be surpassed by a model number or 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 5 before I even look at another one, I know I've got very good quality. And it was.
And every time you drop it, I want to beat the shit out of you.
It scares the crap out of me. And anybody who
oh my God!
If I misplace it and I start looking for it and I look like a crazed man, okay? Now you understand why. That's a very expensive thing, and it's got I do a lot of my filming with it. All the little videos I push and stuff I do on the phone. I don't.
Yeah. And your whole life is that phone.
Yeah, just about.
Pretty much. I mean, everything's in there.
And same with yours. Same. I'm not putting your Apple down or anything like that. It's just I'm not an Apple guy.
You hate Apple.
I don't hate Apple. I'm not an Apple fan. When I went back to college and I walked into the first computer lab, every computer was an Apple, and I was like, oh shit.
Is that what your own personal hell looks like?
It did. I walked in, I was like, oh my God, I have never used these computers in my entire life.
Yeah.
I had to learn the operating system at the same time trying to learn 3D animation. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I started out with Apple. And I really liked it. And then I, started hanging around my brother way too much, and he convinced me I needed an Android. So the next phone I bought, I switched to an Android, and I hated it. It was just, bleh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't fit. Blah, blah, blah. So the next time I went back to my iPhone. And what's really funny is, my brother's a big Android guy, and his wife, his wife of what, 3 years now?
4 years.
4 years? 4 years. 4 years? Has it been? No.
Yeah, they just had their anniversary. 4 years.
Holy crap. Time does fly. Anyway, she has worked for Apple for like 20, I don't know how many years.
A bajillion years.
Yeah, so everything in their house is Apple. And I'm like,
serves you right, sir.
I love it. So yeah.
But he still doesn't have an iPhone,
though. No,
and he won't get one either.
He's not a big fan, but he's got to figure it out because what she says is, "We're having Apple." Okay,
all right.
I gotta learn how to work this. So yeah.
Wow, holy cow, people. We are sitting at 1 hour and 30 minutes on this thing. And we're going to edit some of this out. We had a couple of things. But, I mean, time-wise, we're sitting at 1 hour and 30 minutes of recording time. Exactly. So, again, we just promised this one episode was going to be about the State of the Union. I know it was all op-ed on this one. It wasn't any of our pop culture or any of our fluff or any of our adventures or anything like that. And we're sorry about that.
Yeah, but this is kind of special.
It's once a year. It's a once a year thing, you know, and we had some thoughts, you know. And again, as I said at the beginning, we're not totally dismissing what the man said, and we're not.
Right. I mean, I hope that a lot of what he said he can get done.
I hope so.
There
I do.
Some things I'm like,
I do. I don't see
it.
I don't see it happening on a lot of things,
but I don't see it
on the words alone and what the hope behind the words is. I give you again a solid C, man. I'll give you a solid C.
Yeah.
C, man.
A solid C. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's called the Biden disease. Oh, I also want to say one more thing. Shout out to Sarah.
Oh, Huckabee
Sanders, because she did the rebuttal.
The Republican rebuttal, and
she aced it.
She did a great job.
Great job. You could understand every word she said.
We're gonna extend the time here. We're gonna extend the time here.
Well, just a couple minutes.
Just a couple minutes because. Go ahead.
I just thought she did a great job. Everything she said. She says she's 40 years old. She's the youngest governor out there right now. She's the first female in Arkansas. I think she's going to do a bang up job, and I think she's getting ready. Probably in the next 10 years, she'll be running for president.
I think that would be awesome.
I hope so.
She can stand toe to toe with anybody.
Absolutely.
And talk policy and know what she's talking about. We've seen it happen when she was working at the White House. We've seen it. She can do it, and she's amazing. And I really like what she had to say. The takeaways that I heard from that were the biggest takeaway I heard was she's the youngest, Biden's the oldest, and we need more young blood.
Yeah.
And here I am. She's 11 years younger than me, and I'm in total agreement. And I've said it for years. We need to have young people in here. Get rid of all the old people in. That sounds so
No, it sounds bad. It sounds horrible.
Bad, but they've become complacent. They've become part of the rusty machine.
Yeah, it's like they know from election to election when they're up for re-election. They just know they're automatically going to get back in because these people.
What about the guy that won that was dead? Was it Pennsylvania?
Oh God, we talked about it.
I can't remember. He won in midterms, but he had died 2 months before the midterm elections. But because of all the
early voting,
and even after the early voting, people still voted for him because they knew the name.
They knew the name. Yeah, a lot of people go off name recognition. They don't do any kind of looking into anybody. They're like, oh yeah, I've heard of him.
And that's their own damn fault.
It is, but look what they get for it.
I know.
And so I think a lot of these people that are in the Senate and in Congress have been there for
so long.
20, 30, 40 years. I mean, there are guys in there that look like they can barely hold their heads up.
Yeah, and you see a lot of them on the TV. And I'm like, really, term limits, people.
Yeah. Term
limits need to be a thing, and we need to get fresh blood in there and recycle this stuff. Get that old, crusty, crappy people out of there.
Guys. I mean, as much as, I understood what she was saying, but I think we need to take into account that, Trump is running.
Yeah.
He's 78 right now?
Yeah. But he's sharp as a tack.
He is. He knows what he's talking about.
You may not like what he says.
He doesn't forget people's names. He knows who he's talking about.
And you may not like what he says, but the man is sharp as a tack.
Yeah, and I think we could use him for one more term. I mean, we could use him for one more term. To get everything back.
But at the same time, if DeSantis steps up, that's going to be a hell of a deal.
That is going to...
But
I'm not saying that's not going to be a hard thing, but it's going to come down to I want to see what both of them have to say.
I do.
When they're both actively running.
If you guys paid attention to the midterm episode, my point is I think they should team up. I think that it would behoove them both, even though neither one of their egos will let it happen.
Right.
But it would behoove them both for Trump to be president one more term. It'll get DeSantis in there as VP for 4 years to get him in the White House, and then he can run and he can be president for 2 terms, and he'll be in the White House for 12 years.
I think it would be great, but
he's
looking at what happened to Pence.
Yeah.
And that could ruin him.
But another one of my points was I was watching a Joe Rogan one, and somebody brought that up about DeSantis or Trump, and he says, I think they should join together. And I was like, yes, Joe agrees with me. Yes.
I mean, I think it would be amazing. I said that, I was thinking that when they started talking about DeSantis running, I'm like, ooh, what if they got together? They would be the super,
That would be a super team right there.
Wonder Twin powers activate. I'm going back a long way with that.
The shit they could get done, though. Imagine the shit they could get done.
Yeah, but like you said, they're both very I'm in charge.
Very type A.
So it would be
and
really
I don't think they would mesh.
No.
Pence, I don't think Pence had a type A personality, and I think that's why he could be the
Pence was extremely low key. He was extremely Christian.
He could be the sub to Trump's ego, and he was. To Trump's dom, he could be the sub, and that's what ended up happening. I don't think.
Oh, tucking S&M. Yeah. Is that where we're going? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I don't think that would happen with DeSantis. I really don't. But I still think that their egos, while they may be huge, I think they both have hearts are in the same place, and it's taking care of the country. And I think they could come together. I think they could work things out, and they could make things happen.
And they're both from Florida.
Imagine
that ticket.
That would be awesome.
Florida.
That'd be awesome.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Yep. Good job. Thank you very much.
You go, girl.
Yep. And anybody who's paid a lot of attention this long, an hour and 36 minutes in this, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Do all the stuffs, the patreon.com/Stewart Perspective. Join us there. $5 a month. You get all the extra stuff, and you get all the first access to the podcast. And stop yawning while I'm trying to do business. If you want to donate directly to us, leave us a message when you donate to paypal.me/raw communications. Just drop us a $5, drop us a $10, drop us a $20 on that.
Drop me something so I can stay awake.
Yeah.
Buy me a Coke. Not some Coke, a Coke. Okay, there's a difference.
Just buy me a beer. Buy me a beer, and we'll do a shout out for you. Join us over at the Facebook groups, Stewart Perspective on Facebook groups. Join us on Podbean. If you just want to follow the podcast, follow us there, okay?
It's free.
Just download the Podbean app.
We're worth free.
We're worth free.
We're worth free.
Are we?
Well,
are we?
I don't know. I'm about ready to start paying people. Hey, go to Podbean. I'll give you $5.
Jesus. We don't have $5 to give anybody.
That's true. Give me 50 cents.
All right, we still only have one Patreon that is family.
Is she still on there?
She's still on it. We love you, Linda. Thank you.
Wow.
Still, none of our other family has listened to anything.
They love us.
They do. They love us.
I like to think they do, but I don't know.
They do.
I don't know. I could probably disappear tomorrow.
I think
most of them wouldn't even think.
I think it's funny though when your stepdad was talking about, I should start a podcast and rebut everything that you guys said. It's like that'd be a short one podcast. Everything they said was stupid. That's it. That's exactly what.
That's literally what it would be.
And the podcast would be over 30 seconds.
My stepdad.
He might make $1 million because we go an hour and a half. He goes 30 seconds.
30 seconds. It's all stupid. It's all lies or stupid.
Oh crap! All right. Anyway, I'm wrapping this thing up. All right. As usual, we'll catch you guys next time. And love, peace, and bacon grease, y'all. Bacon.
Bacon.
Where's my cursor? Come on, cursor. Kick in. Hello. Hello.
Cursor.
Sand between my toes.